Happy New Year, everyone, and may I be the first to wish you a very pleasant 2020 Part 2. 2021 promises to be a fantastic year for Sony's brand new console, the PlayStation 5. From God of War Ragnarok to Horizon Forbidden West, there are loads of exciting first-party exclusives lined up for the PlayStation 5 this year. If you don't have a PlayStation 5 just yet, because a scalper has like 100 of them in their garage, don't worry. Alongside a few PlayStation 4 only titles, the majority of games on this list will also launch on Sony's last generation system. Hooray for that awkward first year where cross-gen releases are the norm. Hi, I'm Liam from Push Square, and this is our list of the 25 best games coming to PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 in 2021. Before we start, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, it would really help us out. First up, we have Destruction All-Stars, launching in February for PlayStation 5. Originally set to release as a launch title for the console, All-Stars was pushed back to February and will also be included as part of PlayStation Plus, presumably to ensure that the game has a healthy player base moving forward. Created by a team of ex-Wipeout developers, Destruction All-Stars plays like a combination between Overwatch and Destruction Derby. 16 playable characters come equipped with their own unique abilities, while a selection of 28 vehicles allow you to smash and dash your way to victory in online multiplayer. For those looking for a more solitary experience, the game also includes an extensive single-player mode, which will allow you to unlock new skins and emotes for the game's cast. Neat. Persona 5 Strikers launches on the PlayStation 4 on the 23rd of February. Developed by Dynasty Warriors studio Amiga Force, this spin-off title set in the same world as the excellent Persona 5 swaps out turn-based battles for hack-and-slash combat. The game features a full story campaign that takes players to 6 different Japanese cities and sees every single Phantom Thief from the original game return as a playable character. Warriors games are usually great fun, offering a satisfying spin on a familiar franchise. We can't wait to dive back into the world of Persona 5 thanks to the upcoming release of Strikers. Returnal, the latest game by Dead Nation developer House Marquee, launches exclusively for the PlayStation 5 on the 19th of March. When her ship crash lands on a decaying alien world, Celine is forced to fight for her survival. Every time she dies, she finds herself looped back to the start, destined to repeat her adventure like she's the main character in a sci-fi remake of Groundhog Day. With every fresh cycle, the planet changes, offering Celine both new adversaries and ways to defeat them. As you progress, the game's narrative slowly unfurls, offering a compelling reason to continue even after you lose everything. Featuring third-person bullet hell combat and a slew of next-gen features, such as fast loading times and DualSense support, Returnal looks to be yet another House Marquee must-buy. Following a hugely successful launch on PC, Disco Elysium makes its way to both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 this March. Heavily inspired by tabletop games such as Dungeons & Dragons, Disco Elysium features open-ended gameplay where losing is just as much fun as succeeding. Playing as a washed-up cop in a fantasy coastal town, players must attempt to solve cases by communicating with the town's denizens and your partner, Kim Kitsuragi. A point-and-click RPG, players can put skill points into disparate parts of their personality, allowing them to access unique and bizarre dialogue choices. With over 1 million words written for the game, Disco Elysium is a wholly unique experience that is a welcome addition to the PlayStation library. Originally revealed as part of the first PlayStation 5 games showcase last year, the beautiful Kena Bridge of Spirits is set to launch for the console in the first quarter of this year. In an attempt to uncover a sacred shrine, protagonist Kena must team up with the Rot, cute creatures that grant her powers to aid her on her quest. Featuring a fast-paced combat system and Zelda-like exploration, Kena Bridge of Spirits looks to be a visually gorgeous adventure you don't want to miss. NIER Replicant launches for the PlayStation 4 on April 23rd. A prequel to 2017's incredible NIER Automata, Replicant is a remake of the critically divisive NIER released on the PlayStation 3 in 2010. Featuring familiar hack-and-slash gameplay to Automata, Replicant is more of a spiritual prequel as much as a canonical one. Its quirky tone and unique narrative structure will feel familiar to fans of the latest release in the series, but its world, characters and enemies are completely different. Trading robots with depression for enigmatic shades, NIER Replicant offers a tantalizing return to the brilliant world of creator Yoko Taro on PlayStation 4. HUD, Outlaws and Legends brings a fresh twist to the classic tale for PlayStation 5 on the 10th of May. HUD is a multiplayer game that tasks 2 teams of 4 with pulling off a high-stakes heist. Players must outwit AI-controlled guards while outplaying the rival team in order to lift the loot first and be crowned the victors. With 4 unique classes to choose from, lots of loot to unlock, and multiple heists to complete, this competitive co-op title looks to be one of the more interesting multiplayer concepts we've seen for a while. Following a short delay, DEATHLOOP launches for the PlayStation 5 on the 21st of May. Trapped on a retro-future 60s-inspired island where time resets every day, protagonist Colt must attempt to kill 8 targets and break the loop for good. The problem? He's being relentlessly hunted by Juliana, an assassin determined to prevent him from achieving his goal. Developed by Dishonored creators Arcane, DEATHLOOP combines the studio's talent for emergent gameplay with both a unique time-looping narrative and an optional multiplayer mode, where Juliana can be controlled by another player. Expect fun weapons, devastating powers, and gorgeous visuals when DEATHLOOP launches as a PlayStation 5 console exclusive later this year. Created by Turtle Rock Studios, the team responsible for Valve's excellent multiplayer co-op shooter Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood is a spiritual sequel coming to both the PlayStation 4 and 5 on the 22nd of June. A first-person shooter that tasks 4 players with escaping various zombie-infested scenarios, Back 4 Blood features the same elements and mechanics that made Left 4 Dead such a beloved experience. Thrilling cooperative combat, an AI-controlled director who procedurally places enemies in your path, and 4 unique characters that communicate with one another during gameplay. Throw in a brand new card mechanic that allows players to choose randomly dealt buffs per run, and you have a true Left 4 Dead sequel in everything but name. After years of rumours, Mass Effect Legendary Edition finally launches for the PlayStation 4 in the second quarter of the year. Combining the original trilogy of games together into one package, Legendary Edition updates the classic titles for modern-day consoles, making them playable in 4K with enhanced textures and faster frame rates. Including all single-player DLC, Legendary Edition will allow players to experience 3 of the best RPGs ever made before BioWare inevitably releases the next chapter in this much-loved franchise. Revolving around protagonist Pax, a pregnant ex-con tasked with transporting a package across a dystopian depiction of the United States, DUSTBORN is a stylish single-player adventure releasing for the PlayStation 5 later this year. Posing as a folk punk rock band with your group of fellow misfits, players must weaponize the power of words to manipulate, intimidate, and control a number of villainous adversaries. Bearing strong resemblance to a Telltale game, DUSTBORN looks to be a unique adventure set within a compelling world. Did you ever play Red Dead Redemption and think to yourself, this would be much better if I was shooting vampires in first person? Well buddy, do I have a game for you. Evil West is a first-person shooter set in a vampire-infested Wild West. You and a friend, if you fancy being sociable, play as vampire hunters, sworn to rid the frontier of blood-sucking baddies. Not a huge amount is known about the game just yet, but the website says you can wield a lightning-fueled gauntlet, so it sounds pretty good to me. The 6th installment in Ubisoft's Far Cry series whisks players away to the fictional Caribbean island of Yara, a location based on real-life Cuba. Playing as a guerrilla fighter, players must attempt to take down Yara's tyrannical dictator, Anton Castillo, played by Breaking Bad actor Giancarlo Esposito. It's safe to assume that the game will feature the same first-person gameplay fans of the franchise have come to expect, although no concrete information has been revealed at this point. What we do know, however, is that you have a dog companion called Chorizo. So, Game of the Year, probably. Microsoft may have bought Bethesda, but that hasn't stopped the PlayStation 5 being the exclusive host to 2 of their upcoming releases. Alongside Deathloop, GHOSTWIRE Tokyo is also launching on the PlayStation 5 in 2021. Developed by Tango Gameworks, the studio helmed by Resident Evil creator Shinji Mikami, GHOSTWIRE Tokyo's titular depiction of the Japanese capital has been overrun by deadly supernatural creatures. Through the use of powerful spectral abilities, it's up to the protagonist to fight back against headless schoolgirls and whatever this thing is. Tango's last game, 2017's The Evil Within 2, was a spooky good time that is severely underrated. We're excited to see what scares the team have in store for us when GHOSTWIRE Tokyo launches later in the year. 2018's God of War reboot was exceptional. A single-player adventure that completely revitalized Sony Santa Monica's bald-headed god killer. God of War transplanted Kratos into the realm of Norse mythology. Featuring a stellar combat system that felt hefty and brutal, the game's greatest strength was its compelling narrative that charted both the physical and emotional journey shared by Kratos and his young son Atreus. We know very little about the game beyond this very simple logo, but let's face it, it's a very nice logo, but considering the game's called Ragnarok, a word that in Norse mythology refers to the apocalypse, we can only imagine that this game is going to be a little bit more intense than the last one. We can't wait. Goodbye Volcano High is a cinematic, narrative-driven game that focuses on a bunch of teenage dinosaurs as they prepare to leave high school, promising a storyline that revolves around the end of an era and the beginning of a love story. Goodbye Volcano High looks to be a beautifully animated tale with an emotional heart that's coming to both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 later in the year. Fans of similar titles such as Life is Strange and Night in the Woods should keep an eye on this promising looking project. Taking place in a separate universe to Rocksteady's prolific Arkham franchise, Gotham Knights is a single-player and co-op RPG coming to both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 later in the year. Following Batman's death, it's up to Robin, Red Hood, Nightwing, and Batgirl to take down a new criminal threat that holds Gotham in its grip. Featuring familiar stealth, combat, and exploration mechanics as the Arkham titles, Knights is very much an RPG, complete with enemies of various levels and big numbers that pop out of their heads when you give them a cheeky little punch. It looks gorgeous, and despite being developed by the team responsible for the underwhelming Arkham Origins, Knights is still shaping up to be an enjoyable progression-based title set within the DC universe. The kin of driving simulators, Gran Turismo, makes its way to PlayStation 5 this year with its eagerly awaited 7th installment. Fan favourites, such as a full career mode and the tuning shop, make their long-awaited return, while next-generation hardware promises a stunning racing experience, the likes of which only Polyphony Digital can deliver. We're not entirely sure when the game will launch, but it can't come soon enough. Long rumoured, well, if you count fully leaking as a rumour, that is, Hogwarts Legacy was finally revealed during a PlayStation 5 gameplay event last year, and will be launching on the system in 2021. Taking place over a century before the events of the original books, Hogwarts Legacy is an open-world RPG that allows you to create your own customizable wizard, master exciting spells, and explore familiar locations, including the hallowed halls of Hogwarts itself. The game looks phenomenal on PlayStation 5, with particle effects and lighting a particular highlight from the small amount of gameplay we've seen so far. Following the enormous success of Horizon Zero Dawn on the PlayStation 4, Guerrilla Games are set to bring the next title in the series to both the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 this year. As an unstoppable blight threatens life on Earth, it's up to returning protagonist Aloy to seek out its root cause within the dangerous Forbidden West, a cruel frontier roamed by huge, terrifying machines. We adored Horizon Zero Dawn, finding it to be a thrilling and unique open-world adventure that featured a wonderful narrative, beautiful environments, and exciting combat mechanics. Horizon Forbidden West looks poised to expand upon everything we loved about the original, delivering a rip-roaring sequel for both PlayStation systems. A follow-up to 2016's excellent reboot, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart sees everyone's favourite Lombax and robot duo make their long-awaited return on PlayStation 5. Utilising the power of Sony's next-gen system, this PlayStation 5 exclusive uses the console's super-fast SSD to fling the heroes between separate realities in an instant. It's one of the most exciting uses of the technology we've seen so far. Playing as both Ratchet and a mysterious female Lombax from another dimension, it's up to you to defeat an evil robot emperor and save your reality from impending destruction. Expect wild weaponry, stunning graphics, and innovative uses of the DualSense's functionality, a potential next-gen treat. Prepare to be terrified all over again when Resident Evil Village releases on the PlayStation 5 this year. A follow-up to 2017's excellent Resident Evil 7, which saw the infamous horror series shift to a brand new first-person viewpoint, Village sees protagonist Ethan Winters return to seek answers from a mysterious European village. Wait, isn't that the plot of... Never mind. Roaming with horrific werewolf-like creatures, the titular village is an unsettling location that looks stunning on PlayStation 5, with nods to previous entries in the series, such as the return of Chris Redfield, who is maybe a baddie now? Village looks set to be yet another hit for Capcom. Not a huge amount is known about Solar Ash, but if its announcement trailer is anything to go by, we're pretty confident in describing it as potentially one of 2021's most vibrant releases. Coming to both the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, Solar Ash is a third-person adventure game that features high-speed traversal through a number of surreal environments. Developed by Heart Machine, the creators of Hyper Light Drifter, Solar Ash is one to keep an eye on. Stray lets you play as a cat as they try to escape from a dystopian cyberpunk city populated by robots. The game's official description says that it lets you be annoying and silly. I mean, have you seen this? I don't think words can do justice to this game. You play as a cat in a neon-lit city, populated by robots. It's out this year. There's literally nothing else I need to say about this. It looks brilliant. One of the first games announced for Sony's new console, The Lord of the Rings Gollum lets you play as everyone's favourite manky little hobbit in a brand new adventure set within the Lord of the Rings universe. Outside of a short teaser trailer and some weird looking screenshots, not much is known about the game just yet, although we do know that Gollum will chart Smeagol's adventures as he tries to recover his precious ring. Expect gameplay that revolves around stealth and probably, I don't know, a load of orcs or something. Lord of the Rings game, innit? Gotta be some orcs in there. So there we have it, our list of the 25 most exciting games launching for both the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 in 2021. What are you most looking forward to? Personally, I'm most excited for Disco Elysium, NIER Replicant, and Resident Evil Village. I have a very specific brand. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the comments below. All that's left to say is Happy New Year, and if you enjoyed the video, please do consider giving it a like, and make sure to subscribe to PushSquare for everything PlayStation. Thank you, as always, for watching.